Yarn is on clearance at Hobby Lobby right now, and I am a very happy knitter. If you're not familiar with the whole Hobby Lobby clearance thing, once a year they will put different selected items in different departments at 75% off. If you time it right, you can get some phenomenal deals. This is the third year in a row that I have been able to make it to their yarn clearance sale, and the prices are cheaper than I could get someone's grandma's old used yarn at the thrift store for what I paid for brand new yarn yesterday. I am pretty much these days limiting my yarn purchases to Hobby Lobby clearance unless there is a specific thing that I fall in love with and need to have. I had been hoping that these Yarn Bee pigment and fiber multi-packs would go on clearance because I would love to play with them. There is 630 yards here, and on clearance they were $1.99. So to set the stage, on Monday night I checked YouTube real quick before I went to bed and saw that Angie from My Fairy Treasures had posted her Hobby Lobby clearance yarn haul. I knew I wasn't going to be able to go on Tuesday. She's in a different part of the country than I am, and the stores, even in my immediate area, don't put things on clearance on the same day. So I waited for Wednesday, and I tried to convince myself that if all the clearance yarn was gone, it was fine. I've got yarn. I can knit for another year until the clearance event next year, if there is a clearance event next year, with all that is going on in the world. As far as clearance yarn, what will be, will be. And I had an appointment early Wednesday morning, so I couldn't get to the store until well after they were open. We got there, and there was no clearance yarn left on the shelves, but there were big gaping holes that made it obvious that the yarn clearance had happened. Then I saw the employee restocking yarn from a cart that was about half full, and saw those happy little orange stickers and asked her, can I look? I'm curious about this yarn because I think that somebody had either purchased and returned it or had it in her cart and put it back. It's, I was going to say damaged, but disheveled is a better description. So in that cart were 2 bundles of the pigment and fiber Croy rock. Like I said, these are 630 yards. I have not played with this before. I have not really researched this. From looking at it, I think that's intended to make a gradient shawl. And like I said, I have been wanting to play with it. This one is Coconut Grove. They only had one of this one left. They had 2 of City Girl. And I almost talked myself out of City Girl because of this green. And then I realized what I was doing to myself and saw the error of my way, because I can knit something, I can leave the green out. I can mix and match grays from different sets, and as inexpensive as this yarn is, I am just going to give myself permission to play kind of willy-nilly. Oh, here, this is the example of the disheveled. These, even in my shopping bags, this yarn wants to jump out of its packaging and make a mess. This one is Raindrop Hum, and I wish they had more of, if they'd had more of this, I definitely would have picked it up. Also in her cart was Yarn Bee Sweet Divinity. I have not knitted with this before. It is, I told myself I was going to look at things, 243 yards of skein. And we are not going to hiding our fiber content, aren't we? I can't find it. It's here somewhere. I'm sure it's acrylic because so much of this stuff is. I will look it up more closely before I knit with it. This was $1.37 a skein. One of these is a dye lot that does not match the other 2, but that is okay because I need to write myself a note so I remember when I knit with it. I'll stripe one of these skeins in with the other, and the color difference is very subtle. It won't show unless I do the whole skein, the whole shawl in one color and then abruptly switch to the other. I can work with this. And for $1.37 a skein, I am extremely flexible about working with this. This is more of the Sweet Divinity. This one is Gray Clouds. Isn't that gorgeous? And at 243 yards a skein, I can get a decent sized shawl out of this. This one you can see the odd one out as far as dye lots. 75% off yarn. I am not going to fuss too much about dye lots. Later in the day, I had to be near the other Hobby Lobby, and I went in there expecting all of the yarn to be gone. It wasn't. I have not worked with any of this stuff before. This is a Yarn Bee Delish Boutique. It is Acrylic Alpaca, and there are 590 yards per cake. So I got 2 cakes in this colorway, which is a secret. They're not going to tell me what it is. Doesn't matter. It's pretty. It was $1.74 a skein. It's another colorway. Why do these not have names that they can let me tell you? Well, this one is Love and Licorice, now that I've found where the names hide. This one is Bloom. They had a little more of the pigment and fiber. This one is Garden Song. Again, if they had had more of these, they would be home living with me. Here's another Croy rock to put with the other ones. And then they had these little tiny ones. This is Cactus Blossom. And I'm not entirely sure about the colors in Cactus Blossom, but they were $1.07. So I will put it in my stash and store it carefully and find a purpose for it. And if I don't find a purpose for it, the world will not end. This one is Yarn Bee Chloe, and the colorway is Dove. I was in the store looking at this and could not remember if it was the same stuff as this. I'm happy to see that it's not. Although if it had been, that would have been fine. $1.49 a skein for... really? 270 yards. And I think I have 3 of these in here somewhere. I'm making shawls. If you watch my channel, you know I'm making shawls. Then there is a Baby Bee Sweet Delight Prince puppy, which may be a shawl, or maybe if someone I know and love has a baby, or if anybody gives me an excuse to knit for a baby. It's cute. It's $1.32 and 377 yards, so I can do something substantial with that. More of the Sweet Delights prints. This one's Parasol Pretty. And then I wandered over to their regular clearance, and they had Patins Croy sock yarn. I like Patins Croy sock yarn a lot. So when I found it in clearance for $1.99 a skein, I was super happy. There were 2 skeins of this one. I might have made socks out of this one before, or might have some in my stash, but that's fine. There were only single skeins of these, but I will find something else to contrast for the heels and toes. I am flexible. And the thing that I love about working with this clearance yarn is when the yarn is this inexpensive, it makes it easier to play and experiment and not stress over how much I have invested in the project. I love this yarn. $1.24 a skein. The name of it is Sandy Gray. I have made lots of shawls out of worsted weight acrylic. I think this is a great candidate for that. I love this yarn Chunky for $1.24 for 109 yards a skein. Did I only get 2 of these? It's Mocha. I've only got 2. That's not enough to make a shawl, but it will be something. I did some shawls with this yarn last year, and I really liked it, except I had multicolored yarn that wasn't placing the colors quite the way I would like, so I love the idea of having it in a solid. This is Ice Cream from Lion Brand. I found some of this at the thrift store a few weeks back. Did not buy it because I didn't need it. Well, it was pink at the colorway they had at the thrift store was pink and white and green. This is more grays, and it's cookies and cream. There are 394 yards a skein for $1.24. I think it was $1.50 at the thrift store. Might have been 99 cents, but when the difference between the thrift store and brand new for the same exact thing is 25 cents. I don't have to have new yarn. I am totally fine knitting with previously owned yarn, but I have a hard time paying the same amount for used as I would for new. This is Lion Brand's ZZ Twist. I know nothing about it except it feels really nice. And it is 246 yards a skein. It's 100% acrylic, but it feels almost cottony. For $1.24 a skein, I got 2 of this mocha color and 2 of this cranberry color. And 2 of the ivory color. I could combine these into a shawl. I could make separate little shawls. In case you didn't notice, I am not worried about what I am going to do with any of this. Some of it I have immediate plans for. Most of it is just going to go in my stash and hang out till I need something to knit, and it's going to lead to more of my knitting up the Hobby Lobby clearance yarn videos. And by the time I make those videos, a lot of these, well, some of these are still available in different colorways. Some of these yarns seem to disappear from one year to another. This is yarn Bee Denim in color. I know I got some of this last year or the year before, I think. Still haven't used it. It's an acrylic cotton blend, and it's 157 yards a skein. I got 3 of them for $1.24 a skein. It is so soft, but it might be splitty, but I'll work with splitty for this soft in this color. I keep telling myself I'm not going to work with light pink anymore because I never like the way it looks when it's knitted up, but I don't learn from my mistakes apparently. And another Delish boutique that was hiding in there. And also, last 2 skeins, they had this Scrubology cotton for $1.12. I have had the scrubbies that are crocheted out of the tulle mesh that some friends of my mom used to make. Really liked them. Not enough to cut the mesh and learn how to crochet myself just for that. But for $1.24 a skein, I figured I could buy 2 skeins and knit it up and see if I like it. See if this stuff even works if it's knitted up. I have a pattern in mind for some little scrubbies I've done with cotton yarn that I really like. And like I said, that is my favorite thing about this Hobby Lobby yarn clearance. It gives me the chance to play and experiment and do different things. And it's when you pick the yarn for one project at 75% off, it is a really low risk project. If I don't like it, I haven't spent a lot of money. I haven't taken a big risk. I do sometimes feel regret when I use the yarn up and then wish I'd used it for something else, but I'll take it. It works. Thank you. I'm kind of overwhelmed by all the yarn here right now in the best, happiest possible way because my God, you guys, just look at these colors. I want to sit down and knit now. Did you go to the Hobby Lobby yarn clearance? Did you get happy stuff? Did they have what you wanted? I know there were some yarns that I really had my eye on that were long gone by the time I got there, but I am not going to feel bad about it because I got stuff that will keep me knitting for a long time to come. I don't know whether it's beyond life expectancy at this point because my schedule is fluid, and what it is right now is not going to be what it is 6 months from now, and sometimes I knit an awful lot in a short period of time. But this is my yarn for the moment. And I spent substantially less than I had saved up for the yarn sale and got everything I wanted that they had when I was in the store. So it worked out well this year. Super happy. Thank you so much for watching. I am Michelle with Michelle's Romantic Tangle. If you want to see what I am working on with my quilting and my cross stitching and my knitting, and if you want to see what I knit with some of this, it won't be fast because it takes time to knit 600 and some yards up into a shawl. But if you want to see what I do, please consider subscribing, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. There was supposed to be a floss tube update today, but I am saving that one till tomorrow because Hobby Lobby yarn clearance is time sensitive. See you again very soon.